we constantly have our mistakes, our missteps, our traumas on replay. Like we're constantly replaying the things in the past that didn't go well. And it just keeps playing over and over and over as if it's our current reality. And so what happens is a lot of us may have had something bad happen to us in the past, and it's not to say that your feelings aren't warranted or there's emotions. It's just that there's a point where we have to get through that. What's going on, everybody? I am Danny Stone, also known as Coach Stone, is in the building. Thank you so much for coming back, and thank you for tuning in to the Grind and Gratitude Show. For those of you who are new here, this is a place where us as entrepreneurs, us as change makers can come to get more information, more stories, more tips to help us to level up our lives and our businesses. And today I want to talk to you about what I think are 4 things that are holding a lot of us back to unlocking our true potential. And I see this so much, as a coach, as a teacher, as a speaker, as a podcaster, as an author, as somebody who's out here working in the community with entrepreneurs. I see it so much. I see the things that are holding a lot of people back. And for many of them, they don't realize what's blocking them, what's blocking your blessing. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that have held me back in the past, some of the things that are holding some of my coaching clients back, and some of the things that might be holding you back right now. The first thing I want to talk about is this: you might want more out of life. You might have a big dream, you might have a big goal, or maybe you just know that you don't want everything that you have right now to be this way for the rest of your life. So maybe you're not even clear about what you want, but you just know that you want more. And if that's you, I can definitely relate. I remember years ago when I was stuck in my corporate job, I'd be sitting in my cubicle, just daydreaming about being somewhere else. I just wish that I could be doing something else, helping people in a different way. And at the time, I didn't even know what it was. I just knew that I could be doing a lot more than what I was doing in this job that wasn't bringing me joy and happiness and was actually, overworking me and stressing me out. So if you're in that place right now, I definitely understand it. And I know that you have the ability to change it. I know that you have the ability to unleash your inner champion, to unleash your full potential. I know that. I'm a testament to that. As someone who grew up in low-income housing, surrounded by drugs and crime, headed down the wrong path, I now get to stand on stages to people and speak to people all around the world. I get to speak to you here on this podcast and YouTube and on this platform. I have books that have reached different people in different countries. So I'm not saying any of this to brag. I'm just saying that if I can change my life, it's possible for anybody. But we have to do a few things first. And there's about 4 things that I see getting in the way of us really taking our business and our lives to the next level. The first thing that's really blocking us from taking our lives and our business to the next level is this: we constantly have our mistakes, our missteps, our traumas on replay. Like we're constantly replaying the things in the past that didn't go well. And it just keeps playing over and over and over as if it's our current reality. And so what happens is a lot of us may have had something bad happen to us in the past, and it's not to say that your feelings aren't warranted or there's emotions. It's just that there's a point where we have to get through that. How are you going to get through that mistake? How are you going to overcome that past challenge? How are you going to overcome that person who did you wrong in the past? And for many of us, we don't see that thing that's blocking us, right? We don't see it. It's a blind spot for us. And what we don't realize is that thing that happened to us years ago, that mistake, maybe it was something that we did wrong to somebody else that we can't forgive ourselves for, or something that someone did to us that we can't forgive them for. We're still there. We're stuck there. And you might be beating yourself up over mistakes that you made or not being further ahead in your life. And what's happening is it's taking over your life and you don't even know it. It's holding you back from breaking through to the other side, from tapping into your full potential, from unlocking opportunities that you didn't even know were there. So the first thing that we have to do is to learn to give ourselves some grace. Give yourself some grace. Forgive yourself for your mistakes. Forgive other people. Forgive yourself for not being further ahead. Forgive yourself for taking action on a goal and not following through. Just forgive yourself and give yourself some grace. Acknowledge that that was the best that you could do at the time, and now you're ready for a fresh start. So we have to learn to give ourselves some grace. We have to stop being so difficult with ourselves. We have to stop this negativity and these limiting beliefs and telling ourselves we're not good enough and we're not smart enough. Those are lies. And we have to stop that. And we have to get into giving ourselves some grace, acknowledging that I am where I am right now in my life, whatever area of your life you're having challenges or struggles, just acknowledge that you're doing the best that you can with the knowledge and information that you have. But now is the time that you're going to do something different. But it's not a time to beat yourself up. You have to learn to give yourself grace. And as an entrepreneur, as somebody who can change lives, it's necessary for us because sometimes we look at our lives and we think we're not further ahead, or we see people on social media and we're comparing ourselves to other people. Your life is your life. You're on your own path. Don't compare yourself to other people. Don't look at what other people have or what they're doing because one, you don't even know if that's real, right? You don't know if it's real. And two, you don't know what it took for that person to get that. And three, you're on a different path. You're here for a reason. And whether you know what that reason is or not, you have to give yourself some grace and stop being so hard on yourself. So that's the first mistake I see people make. So once you start to give yourself some grace, then you can move on to the other things. But the second biggest mistake I see that's getting in the way of people achieving amazing things is their lack of clarity. They don't know what they want, right? They're all over the place. I want this, I want that, I want that. They don't know, or they want everything. So either you want everything or you're not clear about what the one thing or two things that are really important in your life. We need clarity. The more clear you are about what your dream life looks like, what your dream business looks like, your dream life for your family looks like, what your dream legacy is, when you get really clear about your dreams and really clear about what you want and why it's a must, then you can start to put energy and action and habits around it. But many people aren't clear. Some of us just know what we don't want, which is great, but what do you want? What do you really want in your life? When you look at your life and you look at all of the areas of your life that are important, your finances, your family, your faith, your fitness, your relationships, what do you really want in all of those areas? I always ask people this: what does a perfect day look like for you? If you could think of a perfect day, what would that perfect day look like? What would you be doing? Who would you be around? How would you feel? Who would you be helping? Think about that. And then the goal in life is to try to create that perfect day as many times as you can, over and over and over again. And then maybe that leads you to your dream lifestyle. But the biggest mistake a lot of us make is we're not clear about what it is that we want. And we allow other people to put their dreams onto us. And so we take on other people's dreams. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted something so badly just because you saw someone else have it, and then you got it and it didn't change your life in any way because you realized that you didn't even really want it? That happens to so many of us. We got to get clear about what it is that we want. Create a vision board. Put up images of things that you see yourself having. Visualize success and what that means to you. But we need to get clear about what we want. And that's one of the biggest things that get in the way of us unleashing our true potential. The third thing that gets in the way is lack of focus. So now you kind of know what you want, you have a goal, you might have a dream, maybe you take a little bit of action on it, but then you get sidetracked. Oh, let me do this, let me do that. A lot of us as entrepreneurs, we do this, we get sidetracked. We have a business idea, we have a business, and we're going down this path and we're trying to build our business, and then all of a sudden we pause in the business and we jump on something else because it seems like people online are making money doing something else. Or a friend told you about this and you stopped your business and you try to do that. And so we lose focus. It's all these shiny things that are going on. And that's stopping us from unlocking a life that we deserve. Because when you're not focused and your energy is split all over the place, you're never going to be good at one thing. You're never going to be great. You're never going to have mastery in one area. And when you have mastery in one area of your life, you can then learn to take that and master other areas of your life. And that mastery can open up so many doors and opportunities. But so many of us are unfocused. We're all over the place. We're looking everywhere. We're listening to what everyone else is doing. We're trying what everyone else is doing. And because our heart's not really in it and it's not what we really want, we fail at that thing. We fail at this thing. We fail at that thing. And then we think that we're failures. And we start to look at ourselves as failures. And we start to be very negative with ourselves. But we have to understand is that maybe we didn't want that to begin with. And if we were focused on where we were going, we wouldn't deviate so much. So we got to get focused. We got to focus on the things that we really want and why it's a must. And then the other thing that I see that gets in the way of us really unleashing our true potential and creating the business of the life that we want is the lack of discipline. We're just not disciplined. You might take a little bit of action for a couple of days or a few weeks or even a few months, and then you fall off track of that with that goal, and then you never get back on track. Or maybe you start to get back on track and then you go through the same cycle over and over again. You do it for a couple of days, then you don't do it for a few weeks. You do it for a few months, and then you don't do it for 5 or 6 months. We don't have that consistency. We're not disciplined to wake up every single day and to do the one or two things that we need to do on our business or our personal goals or our business goals that are going to change our lives. And because sometimes you're not seeing the results quick enough, you quit. You're like, well, it didn't happen in a week or it didn't happen in a month, so you quit. Most of the time when you quit, you're closer than you think. But it's that discipline. Are you taking consistent action every single day for months or even years to get to that level of mastery in whatever it is that you're trying to do so that you become known, you become a different person, you open up new opportunities, a new mindset, different levels of focus. That's what discipline can do for us. But many of us don't have that discipline. And because we don't have the discipline, we keep making a little bit of progress and falling off, making some progress and falling off, making progress and falling off, to the point where some of us just give up. When really, if we just take consistent daily action on our biggest goals, a year from now, 90 days from now, 2 years from now, your life or your business could look a lot different. These are the things that have gotten in the way to stop me from doing a lot of the things that I wanted to do in my life. A lot of my coaching clients can relate because a lot of these things have stopped them from unleashing the business or the life that they wanted. And these are the 4 things that I feel like a lot of people have challenges with, that hold a lot of people in place. And maybe you can relate. Maybe right now you're not where you want to be in your life. Maybe you make a little bit of progress on some of your goals, but you fall off. Maybe you're not really clear about what you want. Maybe you're still beating yourselves up over mistakes that you made last year, yesterday, last week, years ago. If you really want to unleash your true potential, if you want to tap into that inner champion, which I know is inside of you, if you want to make more impact, income, and influence, that requires you to do 4 things. You have to give yourself some grace. You got to get clear about what it is that you want. You got to make a plan and stay focused on where it is that you're going. And then you need discipline. You have to take consistent action every day. If you do those 4 things, your life can look a lot different in 60 days, 90 days, a year, 2 years. And it's not to say that you don't fall off track, but if you can, the sooner that you can get back on track with those 4 things, the sooner you can bounce back, the more likely it is that you're going to have the success that you want in your life. So those are the 4 things that I see that have hold a lot of people back. And I don't want it to hold you back because there's something special about you. You're here for a reason. You have a purpose and a mission. And so if you do these 4 things, you will shock yourself. You'll surprise yourself. You'll become a heightened version of who you already are. And the world will see how amazing you are. Give yourself some grace, clarity, focus, and discipline. And you'll unleash that inner champion and create the life and the business you deserve. Thank you so much for being my co-host. I would love to hear your comments. If you're watching here on YouTube, please leave a comment and let me know your number 1 takeaway from this. Again, if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you subscribe and leave a review and share this with somebody you care about because sharing is caring. That is it, everybody. I am out of time. I'm Coach Stone. I'm out.